Welcome to Young Patriots, the heartbeat of African resistance. Take a good look at this. A fleet of military vehicles is making its way from Ghana straight into Burkina Faso. Yes, you heard that right. Did we just witness Burkina Faso rewrite the rules of global politics? On Wednesday, May 21st, 2025, an impressive convoy carrying military gear, worth a staggering 6 billion CFA francs, rolled into the heart of Ouagadougou. But this wasn't just a regular shipment. We're talking motorcycles, buses, armored trucks, drones, and cutting-edge communication equipment. And these weren't delivered to just anyone. They were officially handed over to the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDPS. This marks more than a shift in tactics. It signals a fearless new chapter in national self-determination. But this moment isn't only about the hardware. It's about what it represents. For too long, Burkina Faso's story has been told through a lens of conflict, chaos, and dependence on outside help. Now picture those massive trucks roaring through Ouagadougou's dusty streets, crowds gathering, phones out, voices hushed. This wasn't just a delivery, it was a declaration, a bold message to the world. We make our own rules now. What might have seemed like a typical military drop-off was, in truth, a calculated and powerful symbol of change. The scale, the secrecy, the raw energy in the air, it all pointed to something bigger. A nation stepping into its own power, unapologetically. This wasn't just a delivery, it was a power move. A bold display that sent shockwaves through regional command rooms and global think tanks alike. Inside those shrouded transports weren't just supplies, they were game changers. Advanced tech and tactical upgrades that will elevate the Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland. The VDPs, from grassroots fighters to a sleek, mobile, battle-ready force. Gone are the days of soldiers heading into danger with outdated gear and little protection. These new armored giants are built to withstand IEDs, ambushes, and the brutal realities of modern guerrilla warfare. They don't just offer protection, they restore confidence. Every mile covered in one of these machines reclaims ground that was once lost to fear and unpredictability. And then there are the drones, eyes in the sky that bring a whole new edge to the fight, with real-time surveillance, intelligence gathering, and precise targeting. The VDPs gain something insurgents fear most: visibility. The battlefield is no longer a mystery. Movements can be tracked, ambushes preempted, and threats eliminated before they even strike. But it doesn't end there. Today's battles aren't won with brute force alone. Victory comes through strategy, coordination, communication, and timing. And with this new arsenal, Burkina Faso is positioning itself not just to defend, but to dominate. This latest wave of communication tech isn't just an upgrade. It's a revolution. Units that once operated in isolation can now connect across regions and command structures with real-time precision. What was once fragmented is now united. And by equipping its volunteer citizen force with state-of-the-art systems, Burkina Faso isn't just fortifying its defenses, it's redefining its role on the continental stage. The VDPs, once seen as local defenders, are emerging as a strategic pillar in a bigger national vision, one built on self-reliance, resilience, and regional influence. The official handover, attended by top brass and senior government figures, wasn't just a ceremonial exchange. It was a line in the sand. Burkina Faso isn't waiting for help anymore. It's taking charge of its future. Skeptics may still raise eyebrows, but the message is loud and clear. This is not the same Burkina Faso. With 6 billion CFA francs of determination now rolling through its heartlands, the nation is no longer inching forward. It's charging ahead, fully awake, fully equipped, and firmly in control. These new machines aren't just about defense. They're about momentum, confidence, and a nation finally steering its own course. Knowing they're shielded from the enemy's deadliest traps changes everything for the troops inside those vehicles. Fear turns into focus. Hesitation becomes confidence. They're no longer just trying to stay alive. They're prepared to dominate the fight. Insurgents, who once thrived on surprise attacks, now face a force that's alert, protected, and unwilling to retreat. And then there are the drones. Don't let their size fool you. These sleek flyers may look simple, but they pack serious power. They're not just floating cameras. They're high-tech scouts equipped with thermal sensors and long-range optics. Picture one gliding silently over a thick forest, detecting the heat signature of an insurgent hideout and beaming that intel back in real time. Ground units get immediate data, turning potential ambushes into swift, strategic responses. In a war where the enemy hides in shadows and strikes without warning, drones shift the balance. They're not just surveillance tools, they're game changers. And the final piece of this strategic puzzle? Communication. It might not roar like an armored truck or hover like a drone, but it's just as critical. In the chaos of battle, being able to share fast, secure, and accurate intel is the difference between coordination and collapse. Without it, even the best-equipped unit risks falling apart. With it, every move becomes part of a unified strategy. These new systems do more than just connect units. They create real-time coordination across the battlefield. Soldiers can move as one, commanders can adapt on the fly, and misinformation, the lifeblood of insurgent tactics, is shut down before it spreads. Picture a squad navigating a tense village. With secure live updates, they can pivot instantly, pinpoint threats, and call in backup without missing a beat. Without this kind of tech, even the best trained troops can be thrown into chaos, delays, confusion, and costly mistakes. But with it, every mission becomes sharper, smarter, and far more effective. Still, this convoy isn't just about gear. It's a clear signal of transformation. For years, Burkina Faso's forces were stuck fighting a modern war with outdated tools, rusty rifles, thin armor, and limited support. Insurgents knew it and exploited every weakness. But this latest delivery, it flips the script. To the soldiers, it says, "You're not alone anymore." To the people, it says, "We're done playing defense. We're here to protect you." Yet as hope rises, so do the questions. Why now? What's driving this sudden, sweeping upgrade? And more importantly, who's behind it? These aren't minor adjustments. This is a full-scale shift happening at a time when Burkina Faso is under intense pressure. In the past year, violence has escalated. Attacks have become more calculated, more brutal. Entire villages have been burned to the ground. Schools, once places of learning and community, now sit abandoned. Something big is unfolding, and the timing couldn't be more critical. Markets are deserted, families are fleeing their homes, and the danger facing Burkina Faso isn't just immediate, it's existential. What's at stake isn't just safety today, but the very future of the nation. The pressure on the government to respond has reached a boiling point. But this isn't about political maneuvering or military optics. It's about survival, about shielding communities from collapse, about reigniting hope in a country that's endured more than its share of hardship. Yes, the convoy has arrived, but its true meaning goes beyond the steel and circuits. For families who've lost everything to violence, homes, livelihoods, loved ones, this is more than a military drop. It's a statement. You haven't been forgotten. It's a bold answer to a crisis that has dragged on for too long without enough resolve. Because this isn't just about stopping bullets. It's about rewriting the narrative. For years, Burkina Faso was painted as a nation at the mercy of conflict, dependent on outsiders, stuck in survival mode. But that image is being dismantled, piece by piece. And at the center of this seismic shift is Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Young, driven, and unapologetically bold, Traoré isn't simply defending his country. He's trying to redefine it. His mission isn't just military, it's personal, it's national. It's about reclaiming agency and rejecting the old script of dependency and defeat. His message is unmistakable. Burkina Faso will no longer be a footnote in someone else's story. Breaking away from the past hasn't come easy, and the road ahead won't be either. But this moment marks a turning point. A nation once pushed to the edge is now pushing back. Like many African nations, Burkina Faso has long leaned on Western powers for military aid. But that support often came at a steep price. Economic strings, political conditions, and foreign agendas routinely took precedence over the country's actual needs. Instead of solving problems, Burkina Faso found itself trapped, trying to please outsiders while its own crises deepened. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has chosen to break that cycle. His decision to walk away from the traditional model is more than bold. It's a declaration of independence. The arrival of this convoy isn't just a logistical upgrade, it's a powerful symbol, a line drawn in the sand. This moment isn't just about Burkina Faso. It's part of a broader shift across Africa, where nations are beginning to question their place in a system that rarely served them. The message is clear. Burkina Faso will no longer be anyone's pawn. With this high-tech military gear rolling through its streets, the country is making it known to its neighbors and to the world that it's ready to chart its own course on its own terms. But this transformation also opens the door to tough questions. Massive military overhauls don't just happen quietly or without help. So naturally, people are wondering, who's backing this? What's the trade-off? And how will this change the balance of power across West Africa? To truly grasp what's unfolding, you have to zoom out. Because across the continent, a growing number of countries are pushing back against decades of foreign dominance and demanding the right to decide their own destinies. Burkina Faso is just the latest and boldest voice in a rising chorus. Across Africa, countries like Burkina Faso are beginning to make bold, unapologetic choices, building new alliances, exploring different partnerships, and putting their own priorities first. The convoy we're seeing roll through Ouagadougou isn't just a military delivery. It's a symbol of that larger movement, a sign that Burkina Faso is ready to carve its own path, even if it means pushing back against powerful, long-standing traditions. But with that independence comes risk. Turning away from old allies can feel liberating, but it also leaves a vacuum, one that global powers aren't likely to abandon quietly. The influence they've built over decades doesn't disappear overnight. Interest will linger, so will pressure. That's what makes this convoy more than just a resupply. It's a high-stakes leap into the unknown, a defiant break from a system that often put foreign interests above local survival. It says, we'll take the risks if it means we get to make our own decisions. Still, behind this bold move is a bigger mystery. Who's really behind this massive upgrade? Is it a friendly power with mutual goals? Or is there a deeper geopolitical strategy playing out behind the scenes? These are no small questions, because the answers could shift alliances, disrupt regional dynamics, and ripple across Africa's political landscape. One thing is certain, the timing is deliberate. This isn't just Burkina Faso reacting to a crisis, it's positioning itself. No longer waiting on the sidelines while bigger powers move the chess pieces, the country is stepping into the game with its own strategy. And now the world is scrambling to figure out, where did this military hardware come from? Because that question doesn't just shape Burkina Faso's future, it could redefine the rules of engagement across the continent. Let's be honest, advanced drones, armored vehicles, and cutting-edge communication systems don't just magically show up in a country that, not long ago, struggled to defend itself without foreign aid. The arrival of this kind of high-grade military equipment signals something bigger: support from a serious, strategic partner. And while Western nations are watching closely, their grip is clearly slipping. The spotlight is now turning toward non-Western powers, those eager to reshape the global balance. And one name keeps rising to the top: Russia. In recent years, Russia has been working overtime to rekindle old alliances across Africa, many of which date back to Soviet times. Their strategy? Back countries that are ready to reject Western dominance and, in turn, expand Moscow's own influence in a continent brimming with resources and strategic potential. There are already whispers, some louder than others, of Russian military advisors operating in Burkina Faso. Add in reports of the Wagner Group, the infamous Russian paramilitary outfit, and the picture sharpens. Russia isn't doing this out of goodwill. This is geopolitics, high stakes, high reward. By offering military support, Russia is taking direct aim at the West's long-standing hold on Africa. This convoy? It's more than firepower on wheels. It's a chess move, a bold message. We're here, and we're backing a new order.
Thank you for standing with us. for standing with the truth, and for standing with President Ibrahim Traoré. In these trying times, your voice is powerful. Don't just watch, be part of the movement. Subscribe to stay updated, share to awaken others, and head to the comment section. Tell us how you feel, what you believe, and what Africa means to you. Together we are louder, together we are stronger. This is Young Patriots TV, and you are the heartbeat of the mission. Thank you.